Best of luck. Viewers of ITV's Emmerdale have seen the character of Val Pollard recently get diagnosed with HIV late in life following a holiday romance.
Well, it's a storyline which struck a chord with Rachel Dilley, who herself was diagnosed with HIV just short of her 40th birthday, never imagining it would happen to her. And she joins us now. And welcome.
Hello.
It's lovely to meet you. Let's start at the beginning of this story. 2004, it was nearly a year since you separated from your partner of 20 years.
Yep.
You've got 3 children with him, and you decided that it was the right time for you to begin online dating.
Yep.
You looked around, you've started having email conversation with a man. We've changed his name, we'll call him Simon for this. What was it that attracted you to him in the first place?
It was funny. We just got along, we just seemed to click.
And then you met up, you went out for dinners. And it all seemed to be going rather well.
Great fun, yeah.
Well, it was a very wonderful summer. It eventually ended up being a very intimate summer. And as you said, because you were sort of getting later in life, you didn't think, when it became physical, you didn't think about protection of any sort.
No, and also I didn't know anything about HIV. Nobody had taught me anything about it, so I didn't even know that it was possible to catch it.
So which is interesting, because there's been such a, and especially around that time, a huge awareness campaign teaching about safe sex, that had all passed you by.
Yeah.
And so the relationship sadly fizzled out, which which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And then you began to feel unwell.
Yeah. Very unwell, very strange, swollen glands, sore throat, couldn't eat properly, temperature, shivering, like a severe bout of flu.
But obviously at that point, you would have no reason to link that with HIV in any way. So you went to the doctors to speak to them, and somebody did mention to you about getting an HIV test around about this time, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you just thought, why? Why would I need to do that?
What were your thoughts?
I just didn't know anything about it, and I know it sounds really stupid, but growing up, the only thing I'd seen was an advert on TV in Africa of African people dying of AIDS. And I thought it was a disease you caught in that country, and that only they caught it. I didn't realise that, you know, a white person had ever had it.
So this really was extreme naivety, wasn't it?
Totally.
So they suggest you have the test, and you think, well, this is ridiculous. How can I possibly have this? That's not what it is, but I would do it anyway.
Yeah.
And so you had the test, and what was said?
A week or 2 weeks later, went back, got the result, and they just said, basically, you know, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're HIV positive.
What was your reaction?
And, well, just felt like I'd walked into a brick wall and couldn't say anything. And then I think the next thing that came out of my mouth is, when am I going to die? Which sounds stupid now, but, you know, it's like being told you're going to die. But I've dealt with it, and it's fine.
Well, I guess this was like a journey of knowledge for you as well, because you get the diagnosis and then you need to find out about it, because you knew nothing about it.
Nothing
and like
at
you
all.
said, you just assumed that this was a death sentence, when in actual fact it wasn't.
No.
And it isn't.
No.
Because once you've got your medication right, that it is something that you can live with for an awfully long time.
A normal, healthy life, they say.
And what about, telling other people, telling your family, for example, because your 3 children are grown-up children?
Well, they weren't at the time, they were like teenage, but I told them straight away. They've all been fine with it. My mum's not here anymore, but my mum was fine with it. Sisters, fine.
Not everyone has been, though, have they?
No.
And what are some of the other reactions you've had?
A friend, her daughter had a baby, and she said she didn't want me near the baby, which it did upset me at the time.
I'm not surprised.
But then, obviously, she had no education on it either, so I understood her naivety as well.
So you've lost friends because of this?
Maybe a few, yeah, but it doesn't upset me. You know, if they don't understand it, then that's not my problem, that's their problem.
What's the drug regime that you have to be on now?
I just take 2 tablets in the morning and 1 in the evening.
And what about checkups and things? What do they look for?
Yeah, I get checked up it used to be 3 months, now it's every 6 months.
And what are they looking for? What do they check?
They just check your levels, your CD4 count, your viral load. They need to get you undetectable, which I am, and was quite quickly. My CD4 count, I don't think is that high, but they're quite happy.
And you, your sort of fear really is picking up things from other people. In actual fact, sort of even for you picking up a cold or anything like that can have terrible effects.
More so in the beginning. Now I've got used to it. I'm not so bad, but I wouldn't even stand if someone was coughing. I would move away from them quickly. I wouldn't touch handles on things.
Because it can progress quite quickly and you need to
I just
pneumonia
thought, you know, if I
something.
catch a cold, I'd get flu, I could get pneumonia, and then I could die.
Yes.
And I can't risk it, so I need to be careful.
Because
but
fundamentally it does affect your immune system.
yeah, yeah, it's destroying your immune system.
And so now, certainly new medication, new drug therapies would prevent that from leading on to full-blown AIDS.
Well, we hope, yeah, that's what the aim is. But, you know, people are still dying.
And what do they say to you about that? How does it switch from HIV to AIDS?
Well, I assume, I mean, I'm not medically trained, but, you know, if you get something serious, like some form of cancer, then obviously you've got AIDS. There's lots of different things. If your CD4 count drops below a certain amount, you're classified as having AIDS.
How does it affect your relationship with men now?
I don't really have much to do with men anymore. I have one friend who I'm quite close to, but he knows. He doesn't treat me any differently at all. But if I did meet someone, I would tell them straight away. I wouldn't hide it.
With this storyline in Emmerdale and sort of Val's situation, how do you feel about that storyline when you watch it?
Actually, it's kind of like watching myself on TV.
Really?
Although she's not me. Yeah, you know, all the things she goes through, the emotions, the way she feels, you know, it's very, very similar.
Do you think that sort of within this age group that actually there needs to be more education, more awareness of this, that this is something that absolutely can happen?
More education and awareness, full stop, not in just my age group, but,
Yeah.
you know, youngsters, teenagers need to be taught in school, and everybody.
And certainly as you get older in life and the concerns about getting pregnant and you meet someone online and then you go out with them, this wasn't just a, you know, sort of fast overnight affair, you know, sort of one night stand thing. You've got to know each other very well, and there is, you know, there are no definite proof that it was actually him. I mean, there could have been other factors as well, which we can't go into, but it's certainly leading to that conclusion, and certainly for other people and other women who are older, then that is something that you have to take into account, because you may not get pregnant, but this could happen.
Exactly, and this is a lot worse.
But you say you won't be defined by it.
No, I don't let it. It's not. It did rule my life in the beginning, but I've learnt a lot about it. I've got friends that I'm very close to. You know, I've got support from everybody. Everybody loves me for who I am, you know, as a person, and it's not defined. You know, it's not her with HIV. It's me. I'm me. You know, and everybody loves me as I am, and that's nice.
And quite right too.
It's lovely to meet you. Thank you
It
very
really
much
is.
indeed.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks very much.
Well, if you would like confidential advice about HIV for yourself or a loved one, we have put details of organisations on the website.
We're going to take a short break and we're back in just a bit.